Hello and welcome to episode 31 of Diggs Sideline Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Sam DeCosmo.
And my name is Patrick Alonia. Hey, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hey, I feel like today's episode is going to be very bittersweet because we got some great news on Saturday. We're going to the playoffs. Let's go. Sam's buying a Kirk Cousins jersey. Skol. Skol.
I am happy that we are going to the playoffs. Yes, that is the limelight in this in our dark times, going 0-2 against the Packers, the team that I hate the most.
Yeah, so we lost to the Packers, and that's not great. But I feel like part of the reason we lost to the Packers was because we clinched that playoff berth on Saturday before even having to step on the field for Week 16. And
I don't buy that, man.
No, so I think if we hadn't clinched and we were still like in the playoff race, I think Dalvin Cook or Alexander Mattison would have played, and I feel like that would have changed the game dramatically.
Okay, yeah, I guess from that aspect, yeah. Then I'll give you that.
Also, I feel like Eric Kendricks would have stayed in the game. I don't think he would have gone. It looked like he just bruised his thigh. I haven't taken a look at the injury report to see exactly what that was. Maybe our fans have, and they can comment on that.
Why don't we quick start off with what went well?
Dude,
let's do like 5 minutes of what went well, and then I've got 25 minutes of what didn't go well.
So I think that the defense is playoff ready. Obviously, the Packers put up 23 points.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No,
I mean, the last two games against the Chargers, the mediocre Chargers, and then last night they played very well. But you can't argue that over the past, the rest of the season we haven't been playing completely lights out.
Exactly. But the last 3 games, I feel like they're peaking.
Okay. Oh, I see
they're
what you're saying.
peaking
Okay.
at the right moment.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I think the defense is playoff ready. So just going through how the defense performed yesterday in the first half, they let up 3 field goals, and that was it. And they forced 3 turnovers.
Right.
And it was incredible. We Vikings got all 10 of their points off of those turnovers. They should have gotten more. Obviously we'll talk about the offense in a little bit, but I think the defense is playoff ready. In the second half, Packers got 2 touchdowns, which obviously wasn't great, and that doesn't look good on our defense. But time of possession was a huge factor.
Yeah, it was like half. It was like 30-15.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think the Packers ended
doesn't
up
add
with,
up to
with
60, but
I think the Packers ended up with almost 40 minutes of
yeah,
time
they must have more. Yeah.
Which that puts a huge strain on your defense. Is not supposed to be on the field for 40 minutes during a 60-minute game.
Not to mention they did exactly what they did against the Chargers, where they put us in good field position. And what did we do, Sam? We came away with 3 points again,
squandered it,
minus the Diggs touchdown. But
right,
I mean.
But yeah, no.
Anyway, I agree with you. The defense has been playing phenomenal. And it's almost as if someone is making a point at turnovers. Like they both times Harrison Smith and Mike Hughes, which we didn't recover, but both were just punched out.
They're playing the ball.
And Barr, yeah, right, exactly.
They're playing the ball rather than trying to make one of those high flying tackles. Which,
right.
You like to see that when it's in behind the line of scrimmage, but when when Devontae Adams catches the ball, he's in bounds, all you can do is try to make a play on the ball to try to, negate that positive yardage that they just got. So I thought the defense played very well. The 2 touchdowns they gave up were just strictly I put that on the offense for not being able to keep yourself on the field,
Right.
So yeah, I thought the defense played well. Anthony Barr forced that fumble. Anthony Harris jumping that route. That was so beautiful. It made Aaron Rodgers look like a rookie. I loved it.
All right, man. That's all I want to talk about. The defense played great. That's all I've got.
The defense played great.
My blood is boiling over the offense. No, honestly.
All right, Pat. Tell me what's making your blood boil.
Here's every game. If you've noticed every game, if you look back, how we orchestrate that very first drive, and in this game in particular, the ball at the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
How they orchestrate their first drive is indicative of how the offense will play for the remainder of the game.
Yeah.
It is completely indicative of it.
I'd agree with that.
100%. And you saw it right away. And so here's where – so I did like that Stefanski in the offense. The mindset was that Mike Boone is in their heads, they put the confidence in him, and they said, hey, we're going to pretend like Dalvin Cook's back there essentially. So from a standpoint, because they it sounds like the game plan was exactly how it would have been basically if Cook was in the game from a running standpoint.
I agree that might be how they started, but looking at the stat line, that is not at all what they did. So we only rushed the ball 16 times, and one of those was that Adam Thielen jet sweep.
Okay, well, please tell me Mike Boone's yards per carry. 2.5?
2.5. He on 11 carries. So the team had 16 rushing attempts versus their passing attempts. So they had 32 passing attempts and 5 sacks, which I want to talk about the sacks in a second. So what that means is that they dropped back on 37 plays to the 16 rushing attempts. So it was almost triple.
But my question is, how many of those passing attempts came in the fourth quarter when they realized, okay, yeah, we can't do this anymore? And how many times did we have the ball and we ran twice right up the middle with to no avail, and then we had to pass the ball, and then
That's a good point.
Darius Smith and Kenny Clark absolutely dominated us.
The Packers pass rush is incredible. I credit to where credit is due. The Packers pass rush is incredible.
Low key, Darius Smith was the best offseason pickup this year, and the Packers pulled that off.
So I want to give credit where credit is due to their pass rush, which is top tier. However, Riley Reef is probably one of the worst left tackles in all of football. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
He was getting beat on every single play, and we've been saying that every single time the Vikings struggle, it's Riley Reef is getting beat. Riley Reef is getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
There were times dudes would just run right past me, just stands up. Oh, sorry. Come on, man.
There was even a few on Bradbury. I saw him just getting completely pushed aside too. The whole offensive line, there was no offensive line.
Yeah,
there was none.
So that made it difficult for plays to develop downfield, and I get that. And when we did have time in the pocket, Kirk Cousins took a shot, which I appreciated because we needed to take a shot. Granted, that turned out to be an interception, but I liked the fact that we had time in the pocket and that Kirk was not afraid to take a shot. So I did like those two things about that play. I liked that play until I didn't like that play.
Yeah, and I do have one observation to make. The Packers have played our play action darn near perfect in both games. And if you look back at the film, the couple times that we did it, what they did basically was on the side where Kirk was booting out to the right, that cornerback, rather than following the slow under route there, he essentially would wait long enough for Diggs to come around, and then he would drop back into coverage, and then the safety was following him there,
Yeah.
And it was just flawlessly done. And then they intercepted on the one, and then I think they had another one that was just dropped, But the Packers, you got to give the Packers credit on defense.
Yeah.
On offense, I wasn't too impressed with how they did. Aaron Rodgers missed a lot of throws.
He did miss a lot of throws. And so let's talk about the Packers offense for a second. Garbage. I don't want to say garbage, but Aaron Jones had a fantastic stat line, 23 carries, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, hey, but like your friend Curtis was saying, the team this year is on Aaron Jones.
The offense runs through Aaron Jones. The offense runs through Aaron Jones.
Well, please tell me his yards per carry. 4?
6.7.
6.7. 6.7. That's even more. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Jamal Williams did pretty well too before he went out. He had 6 carries for 33 yards, 5.5.
I mean, anytime you're getting over 5 yards a carry, you're winning the battle.
Their rushing game was great. It seemed like, and I told this to you last night. So sorry for our listeners. We were at the game and our voices are a little hoarse. So
we're tired.
If this is a little bit more of an NPR style podcast where we're talking like this and you're falling asleep in your car while you're driving, sorry. But no, it just seemed like I feel like we have a really good run defense. Minus the game against Seattle, our run defense has been killer. Aaron Jones, I feel like he is a traditional running back where he's not like the Le'Veon Bell type where he's going to wait behind the offensive line, find a hole, and then hit it. He just runs so hard that he gets 6 yards just on how hard he runs. And he's leaning forward, runs hard, hits the line, and gets there. He's phenomenal. What I was not impressed with at all was their receiving game or Aaron Rodgers' passing game. It was, they had 26. Aaron Rodgers had 26 completions. How many of those were on a slant route? That's what I'd like.
That was the entire game plan.
The entire game plan. I'd say at least 20 of those.
And you know what?
You
can't. You honestly, you can't even be mad at them because if it's working, you do it. You do what works.
Yeah, that's my Madden game plan.
That works. That's why Madden is. That's why I stopped buying Madden games because it's flawed. You can't stop the slant. Spencer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you don't listen to this anymore.
He doesn't listen?
No, Spencer doesn't listen.
But yeah, so. Yeah, I felt like our defense did enough to help to win the game for if our offense had shown up.
Sam, I just have an issue with I either love Stefanski's play calling or I'm heavily against it.
Here's the thing, it's like it's like I said. So the Packers' offense runs through Aaron Jones. Our offense runs through Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And whether or not whether or not Dalvin Cook gets the ball, the offense runs through Dalvin Cook because the defense has to respect him.
And that's what I was saying.
I mean?
That's what I was saying all last night. Listen, everybody wants to put Kirk Cousins in MVP category, and I'm saying he's been playing great. He really has, But I think what people aren't seeing is that Dalvin Cook's impact is the biggest difference maker and why he's playing so well.
Yeah.
100%. Can you seriously disagree with me on that?
He's playing. Absolutely.
Listen here, okay? Kirk Cousins is a guy where he literally needs the stars to align. He needs everything to be perfect. No, Sam.
I don't necessarily
he needs
think that.
everything to be perfect for him to succeed well.
I don't necessarily.
He needs
think
a perfect
needs
offensive
I
line.
Think he needs I don't think he needs things.
He needs a goddamn Pro Bowl roster to be able to succeed.
No.
Yes, he does, dude.
He doesn't need everything to be perfect.
Yes, he
needs
does.
everything to be balanced.
No, he needs
everything
everything to be
balanced.
perfect. No, he needs to have a completely perfect lineup. Everything needs to be set up perfect for
Pat,
him.
it's a team sport. If you don't have a team around you, like last night he didn't. He had two wide receivers. He didn't have an offensive line, and he didn't have a running back. What are you supposed to do when you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a running back?
Yeah,
what are you supposed to do?
But can you disagree though that the quarterback position is in a little bit of a different light, and more often than not, what separates great? Look at Russell Wilson, for God's sakes. The guy hasn't had an offensive line for like two years, maybe this year a little more because running backs have been healthy and now they're out again. He doesn't have Doug Baldwin. Tyler Lockett's been hurt. He lost his starting tight end. And you know what? They're still doing great. That's what I'm trying to say. He is a quarterback where if things are lined up against him, he still makes it happen.
But he's a totally different type of quarterback. He's the type of quarterback that can Kirk Cousins is more the traditional, tall white guy that stands as a statue in the pocket. Maybe he rolls out, on another play. Russell Wilson is the type of guy that can escape the pocket and run for 15 yards. So defenses and they're just two different types of quarterbacks. So you can't even put them in the same category.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is
you have to compare Kirk Cousins to an Aaron Rodgers, to a Tom Brady.
You can't compare him to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets out of the pocket. Do you see the way Aaron Rodgers moves
Kirk
in the
Cousins
pocket?
Can get out of the pocket.
He does not. Oh yes, he can, but he does
on design bootlegs.
On a play that tells you, hey, Kirk Cousins, you're going to go to the right here.
Sure.
In the pocket, Kirk Cousins does not do any. His stone cold legs.
That's what Case Keenum did well.
Exactly.
He could escape the pocket and he could duck a.
Case Keenum at least moved in the pocket, dude.
But Kirk Cousins is a better passer. I mean, look at that play.
It doesn't matter.
No. I want to go back to the touchdown to Stephon Diggs last night. That ball was beautifully placed.
Yeah.
And
that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be able to do that.
What I'm saying is it's like, all right, do you want a guy that can put the ball in where it needs to be, or do you want a guy that can escape the pocket? I don't know.
No.
Maybe with our offensive line, maybe escaping the pocket is a little bit more.
So listen,
of a better attribute. I don't know.
I recognize.
I don't know.
I put a majority of this game on Cook not being in there and our offensive line being. They weren't there. There was no offensive line. So I'm not putting this on solely on Kirk Cousins, right?
No.
But here's what I'm trying to get at, Sam. I don't see Kirk Cousins as a leader. I don't see. No,
I disagree.
No, dude, I'm
disagree.
not. How can you disagree? No, honest to God, tell me how you can disagree.
Did you not see the Denver game? Do you not think he was, showing leadership in the Denver game?
One game against Denver.
Pat,
can you show me multiple games in this guy's entire career? Can you name 5 games minus his you like that and the Denver game that you can confidently tell me, man, this guy's amazing?
You asked me to name 5 games and then you took 2 games away that were.
Name me 3 more.
Pat, just listen. We haven't had.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, Sam. I am. And you know what? And this isn't just Kirk Cousins. This is just the 5 years that we've had. The Mike Zimmer, Spielman era has been unfortunately a failure.
Oh my God, Pat!
How can you not view this as anything other than a complete failure? No, honest to God, no. Tell me. Listen to this. For us to win a playoff game in the Mike Zimmer era, we needed a goddamn Minneapolis miracle. A Minneapolis miracle. Yeah. Something we've never seen with 10 seconds left in the game. That's what we needed. That is what we needed to win a playoff game in the Mike Zimmer era. The Kirk Cousins, the Mike Zimmer, the Spielman era, that is what we needed to win a playoff game.
That was not in the Kirk Cousins era. That was in the Case Keenum era.
In Mike's, excuse me, just the Mike Zimmer era. That is what we needed to win a game.
Pat, just listen. You're sounding like the Vikings fan base after we lost to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
and then guess what we did? We went and we won like not 8 of our next 9 games. So
yeah,
just
so here's
just
where
relax, just breathe.
Yeah, no,
just
so
breathe.
No, hang on a
Wait,
second.
no, listen. You
go
can't.
ahead. Yeah,
you
I did
can't.
speak.
You
Yep.
can't take a look. You can't just look at the microcosm of this game. You have to look at the situation as a whole. You know, we clinched a playoff spot. We were resting Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison, and Eric Kendricks once he got a bruise on his thigh. We can't. We have to look at this game through the lens of the entire situation. And I think there's a silver lining here to us, to the situation we're in now, where we're locked into the 6th seed, which means that we get to continue to rest. We can rest Kirk Cousins. We can rest Stephon Diggs. We can rest Adam Thielen. We can rest Dalvin Cook. We can rest Alexander Madison. We can rest Eric Kendricks. We can rest the guys that need rest, the guys that need that are banged up.
There are 8 teams currently in the entire NFL that are better than the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't disagree with you, but I think that the Vikings could beat those 8 teams on any given Sunday.
Hang on. So you can tell me right now. You can look me. You can look me dead in the eyes and say that we can walk into New Orleans, we can walk into San Francisco, we can walk into Green Bay with this sporadic team where you don't even nobody even knows what kind of team is going to show up on Sunday. You don't know.
Listen, I want you to go back and look at the film of yourself. From last week. On the Diggs
that was the Chargers, for God's sakes.
Pat, but
I criticize. We got 3. We couldn't capitalize on just about any of our turnovers again.
Pat, I just think that you're ebbing and flowing so hard. It's like we need to just remain consistent here and understand the situation as a whole and know that we were in this situation because we made some conscious decisions about Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison and and Eric Kendricks.
I'm just gonna come out with it. So truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I don't see us winning. I don't see us winning playoff games.
Oh my God.
I don't. No, I'm being dead honest now. You know what? Because I've been trying to do this whole.
No.
Oh, I don't want to be this
Totally
negative
disagree.
fan. I don't want to be this and that. Truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, since the beginning of the season, that's how I was. Yeah, we went on this fun little win streak, and it's been fun, and trying to make sure that the podcast is fun and not negative. You know what, dude? I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I want us to lose the first round of the playoffs because we need to clean house. We need to clean house. Mike Zimmer's got to go. Spielman's got to go. We need
ridiculous.
fresh. No, I'm being dead honest. No, I'm being dead honest.
You're being clickbait Pat right now.
No,
Pat.
I'm too tired to make clips anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm just too busy and tired to make clips. I'm just posting the videos. Next season, we're revamping it all up. No, but I'm giving you my dead honest opinion.
No,
it is.
listen.
I'm over this. I'm over the team that we
have. Here's how the playoffs are going to shake out. The Packers are going to get the 2 seed. It'll probably be San Francisco in the 1 seed. It'll be Packers 2, New Orleans 3, Philadelphia 4, Seattle 5, and Vikings 6.
That's great. Sam.
So listen, because you're talking about how the playoff situation and how you want us to lose a playoff game, which is wild coming from a Vikings fan, first and foremost. But let me tell you what's going to happen. We are going to go down to New Orleans, and we are going to break the voodoo witch curse because guess what? They have one piece on their team, and that's Michael Thomas.
They
have one piece, and that's Michael
insane.
Thomas.
No, and they've got an insanely,
Which, by the way,
insane fan base, a Super Bowl winning quarterback,
Michael Thomas,
a leader. They've got a leadership. They've got Sean Payton.
Pat, I can't believe I'm hearing what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you're hearing it. This is how I woke up this morning.
I understand you're frustrated, and you're like, there's probably a lot of Vikings fans that are just as frustrated as you, but you can't ignore the situation as a whole. You just can't. The fact that we've clinched a playoff spot.
So I've acknowledged that. Yeah, I'm
you're not.
No, I have.
No,
we've got the 6.
You're not. Because you're looking at the loss for what it would be if this was, a week 6 loss. But you're not. We've already clinched a playoff spot, and we made some decisions that crippled us during the game. I completely agree with that, and it was a poor showing on offense. Completely agree with that. But that's because we made some decisions that are going to protect us for later on in the playoffs, and I don't disagree with that decision. And I don't think Mike Zimmer. I think Mike Zimmer's defense. Look at the defense. Look at what the defense did last night. Look at what the defense did.
The defense is ready.
And that's Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
And that's Mike Zimmer. So if you're going to tell me that Mike Zimmer is going to go, you're going to have to flush that defense down the toilet. And I'm not ready to do that yet. That defense is incredible.
Okay, so but from a pure Viking standpoint, you can't argue with me that so far
for
5 years. So far,
listen,
5 years,
Pat,
it
listen,
hasn't panned out as well as we had hoped.
It can be frustrating, but the NFL is it's a very competitive atmosphere. And yes, last night was frustrating, but you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater here. You're going to take a loss once in a while, and when you're making decisions that aren't helping your team win a game but helping them with a playoff run, I can't disagree with that. Like, I'm just not. I don't care. Like, I don't care. We're going to go down to New Orleans with a healthy Dalvin Cook, with a healthy roster, and we're going to give him our best. The odds of us actually winning the NFC North going into last night were slim. We were going to have the Lions beat the Packers. And that's just and me as a rose-colored glasses Vikings fan thought that, yeah, maybe they could do that. But they had the wherewithal to say, guess what? The Lions probably aren't going to beat the Packers. So let's just rest our team and get ready for the playoffs because we have a tough road schedule ahead of us. And they did that. And I can't fault them for that. And I wholeheartedly believe that if we played our full roster, we would have won that game. And my takeaway from this is that the defense is playoff ready and that Dalvin Cook has some contract negotiation leverage.
He's got the most.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got the most leverage right now.
But you know what? I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I definitely don't hope the Vikings lose a playoff game. I don't know where.
Obviously, I don't hope that we lose. Obviously, I'm not going to go in that game and against the Saints and say
rewind 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Play when Pat said that he hoped we.
Yeah. It's all. I'm not going to delete it. I really don't give a shit. Sam, I don't like Kirk Cousins.
Oh my god.
I don't like the guy, dude. He's just not. He's not what you want out of a goddamn quarterback.
Who's going to be the quarterback, though?
I don't know.
Who's going to be the quarterback?
I don't know, but I just need okay. Am I at wrong for having my personal opinion?
No, listen.
Am I at wrong for wanting a fresh start?
No, and you're right to be frustrated. I 100% agree. But I just, like I said, football is a team sport. And yeah, Kirk Cousins struggled last night without Dalvin Cook in the game. 100%. Get that. Tracking. But who else is going to play quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings?
Okay, so what happens? So what happens when Dalvin Cook, if he happens to get hurt and we're in the playoff game, and what? Then what? Huh?
Then Alexander Madison comes in.
Okay, and if he's not there and all these starters aren't in, then what? Then what? Because they're NFL caliber players. This is Week 16. This is the big game against the Packers.
If players get hurt, it sucks.
I don't care.
If players get hurt, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But you can't. But that's not. We can't play the what if game doing that. You know, our roster is what it is.
Sam, I had a bigger issue with how the offensive game plan was. It was pathetic. It was a joke. There was no game plan. It was a little too late again. Same thing, man.
Listen, again.
Did you disagree with me that on the offensive game plan? Just put the fact that Cook was in the game. Yeah, but like they weren't there. So that was the best that they had. That was the best for a whole week of preparation. That was what they came out with. Understanding Cook wasn't going to play, and Madison probably wasn't going to play too.
The offensive game plan could have been better. Agreed. But the offensive game plan would have succeeded more than it did had our offensive line showed up. And that's just on them getting beat.
Yeah, man. I'm ready to wrap this thing up.
All right.
I got nothing else.
I did want to highlight one thing that was pretty cool on offense last night, and that was this close touchdown pass from Stephon Diggs to Kirk Cousins. That would have been so cool. And Kirk Cousins was wide open. Stephon Diggs just got a little too excited. I think it threw a little bit of juice, too much juice on it. But I thought that was a fun little takeaway from last night.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice. I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch of memes.
All right.
Falling on his face.
So join us next time for on Diggs Sideline Podcast. We'll be previewing the Chicago Bears game, and it's going to be an interesting show because I do believe that we'll be resting a lot of offensive starters. So we'll see a lot of guys that we don't normally get to see, and it'll be an interesting show. So join us next time, and until then, Skol Vikings.
Skol, guys.